Denver Broncos Mile High View, no commercials, no bullshit, never bullshit. The #1 Bronco station that everybody around the NFL goes to find out what really is going on with the Broncos, minus the hype. So let's see if we can get death threaded some more, okay? Today is we're going to discuss this issue of John Elway. Mile High View is actually going to defend John Elway. Shock, shock. You know, dogs and cats living together. So you sent me something from TMZ, and I am going to play it. Of course, I don't have it queued up. I'm looking at truck videos. So here, check this out. Maybe right here.
John Elway thing, and I know we're talking about the NBA.
You want to talk about it now? Let's do it. We'll get into the NBA. This John Elway essentially just lost $900 million.
I feel it's
How
like
do you lose $900 million?
He essentially, and I know Maz and you guys can explain it, but he essentially took 15 to make 7, as opposed to taking 15 to make 900.
So here's the deal. After winning the Super Bowl and retiring in 1998, John Elway was offered a 20% stake in the Denver Broncos for $36 million. He declined that offer. Today, this was a tweet yesterday, today the Broncos sold to the Walmart family for $4.65 billion. Elway would have had a stake of $930 million.
What that doesn't tell you is, of the $35 million that they wanted to get from Elway, they owed him 21. He only would have had to put up 14 million. They owed him 21 million. He had it coming to him in his contract. So Pat Bowlen said, just don't take your bonus I'm offering you. Take this deal, and I'll let you out in 5 years if you want out with no penalty. Plus, I'll give you $5 billion.
How do you get past that?
Okay, so this is what I want to discuss. There's this narrative out there that, as far as this deal goes, John Elway is a complete imbecile, and for not taking that deal, what an idiot. And now we can accuse John Elway for being a GM idiot, an owner idiot. His management of the Denver Broncos trying to pretend to be Pat Bowlen idiot. But in this case, they got it wrong. They got what they're saying right, but they're missing one important element, and that is Edgar Kaiser. These numbers are well known. And what Pat Bowlen, this is the true story. The true story. Again, Denver Broncos, Mile High View. Now, you know what we could do at Mile High View is we could run with this and do what everybody else does on the 8 different channels and not give you the facts. We could run with this and say, idiot, we see this proves he's an idiot, and then run all over saying that. Easily we could do that because people don't have the full story. The full story is Pat Bowlen tried to backdoor John Elway into ownership. And they thought they could get away with it, and this is undisputed. Edgar Kaiser, and this is totally undisputed, does have 1990s did have rights of refusal. That means that any transaction that involves bringing in a new owner, any kind of new owner transaction, would have to be run through Kaiser. So once Kaiser got wind of what was going on, he went right into legal action. Thank God. Thank God. Now, if Elway, the irony is, if this isn't already irony, us defending John Elway, the ultimate irony would be, had John Elway turned to be a shit-hot owner, pseudo-owner, I guess, GM, head coach, whatever, all these hats he wants to wear, then I'd be pissed. I'm like, oh shit, man, Kaiser ruined it. But thank God, Kaiser with right of refusal, what happened is they would have gotten into a legal situation if when they did get in a legal situation, and you'll say, well, they lost that right of refusal. Dan Jacobs is an attorney. Excuse me, he's a judge. Actually, he's a judge. So he looked at the legal case going back to that 1990s, 2000 time frame. He looked at all the legal paperwork, and the only reason Kaiser lost right of refusal is because John Elway had to publicly say that he didn't want the team. John Elway absolutely wanted ownership. That's what he's dreamed of all his life. You see it. You can see it now. Matter of fact, if he didn't want it, why would he be during this whole ownership being a stakeholder trying to get ownership of the team? The Walmart sale does tell us something, and he lost all this money, almost $1 billion. It tells us one thing: John Elway is going to have absolutely no ties with this team whatsoever. Thank God he cannot be an owner in this team. It also tells me that he's going to be held accountable if he thinks he's going to be lurking around and dealing out other people's money. He's going to be held accountable. But the bottom line is that John Elway had to do that, because if they tried to push it, I want to be owner, and fought that, Kaiser had right of refusal. And with Bolin taking away the paperwork, or pulling it, and then John Elway saying publicly, I don't want anything to do with the team. John Elway, they wouldn't get sued, basically. They would have got sued by Edgar Kaiser. That's the real story. Not that Elway at the time was a bumbling idiot and didn't know what he had. He definitely wanted ownership, always wanted ownership. But it really turned out to be unobtainium. That element of the universe that you just can't get it no matter what. It's something you just can't get. I call it unobtainium. So anyway, what's your take on that whole TMZ, this whole meme of John Elway's the idiot, didn't realize what he had and squandered it off?
So my apologies. Everyone knows that I have disdain for John Elway as the GM, head coach, owner, director, player operations that is still at the denverbroncos.com website. You were talking about what this Walmart ownership means for John Elway. I completely disagree with you. I have to see it to believe it. I'm not going to sit here and say that, well, he's going to have no ties, he's going to have nothing, he's going to be held accountable. I have to see it to believe it. I've been down this road many times where I thought, John Elway taking a back seat was actually the right thing to do, bringing in my guy Adam Peters, and I was duped. I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to fall for that again, because I am a big Adam Peters advocate. But again, this whole situation with John Elway is just a list of a long line of things that the Denver Broncos are known for over the past 7 years, which is they're always in the news for something, aren't they? They're always in the news for something that is just ridiculous, that could have been handled 4 to 5 years ago, and we could have been washrooms, and it would have been out of this, out of what we're talking about right now. This team could be completely different in 2022. This stuff could have been handled 4 to 5 years ago. But again, the typical, and I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just looking at it in a logical point of view. I'm not going to sit here and say John Elway is going to be out of the organization. I have to see it to believe it.
Okay, I want to play a little video clip from a sports channel on this whole John Elway doesn't exist. Okay, this is a little dated. It just goes back to the time of the right before the draft. So this recent draft. So I just want to play this.
Broncos will meet with all the top quarterbacks at the combine. Too bad for them. It's the worst quarterback in 25 years. John Elway will be an outside consultant to Broncos general manager George Patton. Good luck.
Be Peyton.
Washington.
What could be worse? What could be worse for that guy?
Consultant. Can you imagine having that guy hovering over your shoulder when you're the GM of the Broncos, and you got to take a phone call every other day from John? I mean, honestly, like, why even have that job? You replaced him. Like, Elway stepped aside or whatever the deal was for this guy, Pat, to take his place. And now a year later, I'm going to be an outside consultant. And I'm like, come on.
Yeah. So, I mean, anybody unless you're a duped, toxic moron, everybody knows this. Everybody outside the bubble in the real world gets this. But I will say to you, it's just a matter of when, not if. Yes, I disagree with you. It may not be right away, but it's going to be a foregone. It's going to happen because I believe these guys are going to want to do it their way eventually. It's just going to be the way it's going to be, and I don't think they're going to put up with the shenanigans that have been going on. I'm not saying that they're going to be great owners. I'm not saying that. I'm just going to say they're going to want to do it their way at some point. That's what I said. It's just a matter of if or when, not if. So in my book.
I respect that.
Go ahead.
No, I respect that. I respect that opinion. If others go along with that, I respect that opinion. But again, I've seen this train before.
Well, you've never seen these owners before, and it's their money now. It's their show now, and they have their own egos. So it's just, whose ego is going to really win out.
I agree with that, but Elway is still John Elway. There's still crooks and crannies that he could probably find his way into.
If I'm an owner of the team and I say you got to go, you ain't going to be fitting in any little niche or cranny. You better go, and maybe the Texans have a place for you. I don't know, but you'll have to go somewhere else because it's a folly. And that brings us to what's our next topic? I talked to you off camera. We're going from this to, backpedaling. We're going to talk.
Backpedaling, what the Wanus of the world do, and the list goes on and on and on.
We got backpedaling. This is interesting. I'm gonna introduce this thing, and then you can go take over. Is that, when Russell Wilson was brought in, what was the at minimum 3 Super Bowl minutes? It's a 3 Super Bowl minimum, right? 3 Super Bowl immediate. We're immediate. But what does PFF say? What does ESPN say? Well, immediate. Oh my God, 3 Super Bowl, 5 Super Bowl tops, right? All this, right? Reality is you don't have the player personnel to pull this off, but we'll get to that later. So the very first thing they said is, all kinds of players are going to come just busting down the Broncos' door in free agency, taking less money than they would really want. And what did we get? We got crickets, okay? And then they started to change their tune a little bit. So why don't you take off and tell us where we are? You can talk about how OTAs, what do they may see? Take it from there. This ought to be good.
Okay, so I said to you off air that I believe the reason why they have backpedaled is because they've seen stuff behind the scenes that they do not want the public to know about. I think that they've seen the same issues over the past 7 years that are going to plague this team. And I think that the number one cause of that is the offensive line and this defense. I really do think that this defense is going to be one of the worst in the National Football League in terms of being passed on. I mean, there's OTA videos of Justin Simmons getting beat over the top time and time again. There's another one a few days ago of Albert O beating Justin Simmons over the top. So again, I think it has more to do with Dove Valley Sports Talk Radio being scared and seeing things that, quite frankly, the fans, they do not want the fans knowing. So
2 things. 1, Dove Valley, you better get Russell Wilson to throw a pass to Justin Simmons just so you can Say, oh, look, see, it's everything we said he was. Number one. The second thing is you jumped ahead a little bit. What sports talk radio was saying, what they're, I guess maybe like you said, from what they're saying is that we're not talking Super Bowl. We're not talking, this could take a year. So one side of their mouth, they're saying nothing less than a deep playoff run out of one side of their mouth. Now what they're saying alongside that, out of the other side of their mouth, this really could take a year. This really could take a year. That's the new meme. So that when this thing does, like we're saying, when we look at player personnel that they don't have, okay? Well, saying that player personnel they don't have, then they can say, oh, we never said the Super Bowl. We never said any of that stuff. So they're trying to cover their ass. Okay, go ahead.
Well, not jumping ahead, now me backpedaling back to the original point. You brought up something interesting. Okay, and sports talk radio is doing their typical contradicting themselves like they usually do, like Mile High Huddle, overlapping, putting onion layers in front of them like John Elway does best. But anyway, finger pointing. But anyway,
reversing directions.
Well,
no, we didn't say, yeah, we said that. No, we didn't say. Yeah, we. Yeah.
Oh, that too. But they're bringing up a year. Do they realize the contract that Russell Wilson's under, Randy Gregory's under, Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick is under, Garrett Bowles? I'm hearing talk that they're going to try and pay Draymond Jones. Like,
of course we are. We predicted that. John Elway.
And of course, Justin Simmons, all the money they allocated towards that one player, and Randy Gregory. You're talking about this is going to be a year. What money do you have?
That's the $64 million question.
What money do you have? You continue to make the same old bullshit draft mistakes with Nick Burrito and Greg Dulcich.
Hey, how come I haven't heard about all these great things? Oh, that's another thing, Mile High Dove Valley. You need to throw a couple passes to Greg Dulcich so we can hear that he's the next Gronkowski, because we have heard nothing from this guy that's supposed to be like, tearing up the NFL. What in OTAs? I mean, where is this guy? Throw a pass to him so you can talk about him, so make people feel good.
Yeah.
Where did this guy go? We're not about it.
Also, I haven't heard much from Draymond Jones, and except for them paying him.
Of course. And didn't we say off camera? Didn't we talk about how this was going to happen? The ghost that we called Draymond Jones. Like, where is he? Where? Oh, wait, he showed up at the Detroit game with all the scrubs.
Yeah.
You can't even make this stuff up.
Well, also, I can't make this up either. Every time I watch the OTA's highlight reels that they put together, where are they attacking the most? Middle of the field and Justin Simmons, right?
Yes. Mostly, yes.
Mostly. That's where they're attacking them, right?
Yeah. Well, that's where everybody else is going to attack.
It's like I am repeating what I've been saying for 2 years on this channel.
Yeah.
It's the same old fucking ticking clock that hopefully this new ownership can fix, because I seem to think some fans are really bullshit artists. I mean, you want to talk about how contracts work? You're still paying Juwan James. You're still paying Shelby Harris. You're still paying all these people in dead cap money. That's a part of the guaranteed money. That's what dead cap.
Guaranteed doesn't mean guaranteed. You're a conspiracy theorist. Oh, no. Guaranteed doesn't mean guaranteed. It means this. It means that. It doesn't mean guaranteed. No. You can't make this stuff up, these people. Yeah, we can't have this kind of garbage anymore. We can't deal with that kind of garbage. And then those people are like, sending, punching the buttons, false information, hate, and everything else. It just, I'm telling you, both of us need to get a BitChute channel going so we can just eliminate all this nonsense.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Once I'm up neck deep in so much shit right now that I can't deal with that, but we're gonna go. We're going BitChute. Just done. Toxic fans again. Again, toxic. Ask Seattle, their fan base for Denver Bronco, toxic fans.
Yeah, you want to talk about a fan base that actually understands player development? I did a Drew Lock video, and it's skyrocketing like the moon is, like you're going to the moon. Oh my Lord! I mean, the amount of fans that I get on that channel in terms of the Seattle fans I've gotten, they understand player development. You can give them all the shit you want. We're going to get in Seattle here shortly, but again, I just want to get ahead of the curve. Those fans understand it. They understand Denver's a fucking shithole.
Well, not just Seattle fans. Anybody, whether it's.
Well, I'm going to keep close tabs on
NFC, AFC.
I sent you video of Drew Lock again, and this will overlap the Seattle point. What did Drew Lock say about the coaching and he feels more appreciated? What dare I say?
Well, I think that's kind of a part of it, but I think the bigger takeaway that I got, he acknowledges that the Seattle Hawk organization is stable. It's been running a system that he's accustomed to for years. So he knows that they're not going to pull a Shermer. They're going to, I could see the Rams. Let's go that direction. Wait, I see San Francisco. No, let's do that. Oh, no, I see Kansas City. No, let's do that. The John Elway knee-jerk bullshit, get the spaghetti, throw it against the wall, grab some band. He's out of that toxicity that John Elway created. That's what's coming through. Not so much that he's pointing the finger at Denver specifically, but what he's saying is this is a stable organization that understands what they're doing and is sticking to it.
Okay. This is a great point that you bring up because I understand people's infatuation of the quarterback position because when you're told something over and over again about a quarterback being the whole entire aspect of an NFL team, you're going to believe that if you listen to the wrong people, aka Mile High Bubble and the 8 other channels that spew the same old bullshit. But again, I will always go back to this and this point alone. And you sent me video about paying a quarterback and what that will do to an NFL franchise if you do it incorrectly. And this will eventually catch up to the Chiefs. But I just want to bring up a point. What did the Chiefs, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Bills do? And I'm going to bring up those 3 teams. What did they do before they got Josh Allen, Tom Brady, and Patrick Mahomes? They built the team up first.
Correctly. Based on a system they were going to stick to.
Okay. So I'm going to talk about Buffalo real quick. It wasn't fucking Nathan Peterman. Okay? I don't know where you're getting this. And
well, that's what we got to deal with. We got all this outside noise trying to muddy the waters up.
Yes, I completely agree. It was Tyrod Taylor, quarterback. They built the team around Tyrod, and then they drafted Josh Allen. Well, they traded up to get Josh Allen to put Josh Allen around that surrounding talent and also continue to build around Josh Allen while he was on that rookie contract, and then they gave him the money deal.
Let's just stop just a second. Did they decide, the Buffalo Bills, that they were going to reinvent the system? The system. Did they not? Well, hold on a second. Did they not put their own system on hold and cater around Josh Allen instead of what's his face?
I see where you're going. Okay.
No, our own quarterback that we got, Paxton Lynch.
Yep.
Yeah, where they said, no, you're going to run this, but that's not what no, you're going to our vision. We're not here to help you out.
Okay, so this is where my mind goes into a different realm than these sports talk radio, Dove Valley, and the toxic fan base. This is where I should be. I'm in a different. Me and you are in a different hemisphere than these people.
Correct.
They did something to Josh Allen that the Denver Broncos failed to do for Paxton Lynch, which is what this guy said: build a system around his strengths and develop him correctly. And that's what they did with Josh Allen.
And then integrate them into the system that they've been running.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Integrate them into the system that they were running. Not this, well, okay, we're going to run West Coast system. Well, I'm not a West Coast system quarterback. Why did you draft me? The whole idea is, why would you draft me if you're not going to put, it's the same with Locke. It was like
Paxton Lynch, and again, I said coming out of Memphis, was that shotgun RPO type of quarterback. I said that coming out of college. Why the hell did you draft him at number 26, knowing that I think Gary Kubiak, I know, when you could have got when you get a better player at 26, just like in 2020, when you could have got Rashawn Slater, or I like Patrick Surtain as a boundary corner, you could have got Tristan Wirfs in 2019 too. It just goes in a long line of lists of stupidity that John Elway's given us.
Yes. Well, why does he have to hide behind so many onion layers?
Because he's afraid.
He's horrible. He's a horrible. Everything he wants to be, just like, go. What did those people say? Completely different sports thing. Get the fuck out of here, man.
You should have done. Okay, Paxton Lynch. Okay, Drew Lock. What you should have done, keep Rich Scangarello. The offense those past 5 games of the season. Yeah. The past 5 games of the season, you saw a completely different offense than what you saw under Joe Flacco. You know why? Because Joe Flacco wasn't that type of quarterback that could run that system anymore. He was more of that statue-esque, have a great offensive line in front of him. Me and you're the one saying that.
And everybody's, oh, you're wrong. We're back to where we are now. Hold on a second. They fucking attacked me because I didn't want Joe Flacco. And then the same people who attacked me for not wanting to bring Joe Flacco in wanted to run Joe Flacco out of town. Every year we got to deal with this. Well, we're so wrong, we're so hated, but we're always so right.
Yeah, I know. You said the same thing about Drew Lock. Don't draft him. Not because of what. Yeah, exactly. So what did you do? Past 5 games, and I said this in my my Drew Lock video why the Broncos failed him. I said coming out of college, it's not rocket science. They said it was a 3-year project. I remember that coming out of their mouth, and you said it too. It was a 3-year freaking project. I know that's what I'm saying. Rich Scangarello, he fit that system like a glove. It wasn't even close. He fit that system like a glove. So did Noah Fant. Okay, I forgot to mention him. What you did is you pulled the rug right under from him. You got Pat Shurmur, who completely sucks as an offensive coordinator. We said that coming in. And again, you do the same old bullshit with the guy when you hamper Dalton Risner's development, you hamper Noah Fant's development, you hamper Drew Lock. You're trying to make Drew Lock into something that he's not in Patrick Mahomes when you don't have the player personnel around Drew Lock, or you don't have the player personnel in general to run what you want to do in Kansas City. You draft 2 receivers in the 1st and 2nd round. Jerry Jeudy, who was overhyped, who hasn't lived up to shit. KJ Hamler, who I've been saying for weeks is a better slot receiver.
Months. You've been saying for months.
For months. He's a better slot receiver than I think he's going to have a good year at the slot. I said he could be the Tyler Lockett of this offense if they use him correctly. You could have got Tristan Wirfs. You could have stuck with that system, that risk game. You could have drafted Tristan fucking Wirfs. And then you could continue to build the team on that offensive side of the ball. Continue to build the defensive side of the ball. Let fucking Vic Fangio get the players that he wants, for God's sakes. That's another thing. I want this owner to give his coaches and his player personnel power to get the players they want. I do not want to be this hampered bullshit that Elway did for 7 to 8 years. I do not want that.
Yeah,
If I see
Elway hovering over everybody's shoulder, I'm in the draft room.
yeah.
I'm gonna get him. Then we're gonna overpay him because I picked him.
Yeah.
Oh.
If I see a glimpse of that, I'm calling for that owner's head, because that's going to be another repeat in this hellhole that we've lived in for 7-8 years ever since Bolin's left this organization.
Yeah.
If you bring in a system, offense and defensively, like you're saying, you need to let those coaches identify players, and you need to let those coaches and GMs and scouts and player personnel directors let them go get those type of players.
You got to send John Elway out to pasture. You got to send him out to pasture.
Well, I'm talking about when you're saying time has come when John Elway isn't here. I'm talking about you need to let your coaches and GMs and scouts and director of player personnel directors have a vision.
You as your owner better come up with one thing and one thing, not be all over the place. Like that guy that's up in an office that, God only, the ambiguous title that, of what he does, who he is. I want to go back and talk about Lynch. I want to go back to Lynch. And this ties into this whole Elway screwed it all up thing. John Elway had it in his mind, no matter what, I am going to make sure that I draft Paxton Lynch. Joe, I can guarantee you, Kubiak was like, why would you do that? He does not fit this West Coast system. That's where the heads really started to butt. It made no sense to draft Paxton Lynch.
Yeah,
I don't care. I'm wasting that pick. Go ahead.
No, you're on a roll. I just want to interject here.
Yep.
You're completely right, because Trevor Siemian, I believe Kubiak was trying to get ahead of the curve there, because Siemian fit his system. He was more that Matt Schaub-esque type of quarterback, which Matt Schaub was no scrub when he had the player personnel around him in Houston.
True.
That's a damn fact.
Yeah.
But he got ahead of the curve. Also, I think what was the final nail in the coffin was when they drafted Bradley Chubb over Quentin Nelson. I really do believe that Garrett Kubiak was pounding the table for Quentin Nelson because he understood the talent that guy brought. Nothing against Bradley Chubb. But again, what is Bradley Chubb over the past 7 years that John Elway covets? Edges, right?
Yeah.
You get that interior. Could you imagine what Gary Kubiak and me and you line of thinking is? Okay, you have Garrett Bulls at left tackle.
Vic Fangio. You put him in there too. You
have Garrett Bulls at left tackle. Okay, that's fine. I mean, I would rather. Okay, Rashawn Slater, Quentin Nelson, Creed Humphrey. Okay, Reichard, Quentin Miners, and Tristan Wirfs is your starting five. That's how I roll. Then
you got something to talk about when you talk about letting Russell Wilson be the pocket quarterback that he truly is.
He's not a run around in the backfield with his chicken.
No, he's not. Oh God, he's not. No.
Let's back to the Paxton Lynch thing, because I think you were onto something. That's when the head started the clash, because all those reports are coming out that they're fighting on in the draft room, all this above them. Because I think that they could have got a better player at 26 than what Paxton. And I don't think Garrett Kubiak wanted Paxton Lynch because he didn't fit his system.
Well, of course not. Because Gary Kubiak has a brain in his head. The other guy, it's all ego. Best quarterback. I'm going to get these best quarterback. Oh, yeah. See Salami on the little puppet. Oh, yeah. Paxton Lynch.
Again, we say the head start of the clash when Paxton Lynch was drafted. Now that I think of it, I think it started the clash when his first year with Peyton was here.
Yes.
Because they had to put Peyton in a system that didn't fit his skill set.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with the Broncos with that. I just don't get it. Let's move the clock up. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, one more thing. You remember when Did you? Okay, so you remember when Peyton Manning he got injured and then he was trying to come back and he flipped off the camera? Who do you think he was flipping off? It was Elway. It wasn't Kubiak. It was Elway.
Elway, yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I just put that disclaimer out there.
Yeah, it's frustrating for these guys. These quarterbacks, all of them, every single one of them. Yes, yes, I would too if I had to put up with his nonsense. I just want to tick the clock up, just move the clock up a little bit to Case Keenum.
Oh, God.
Now, here we got this. He brings Case Keenum in.
Bill Musgrave.
Who? Bill Musgrave. Again, it's just like this process just doesn't fucking ever stop. Bill Musgrave. Why would you put Case Keenum and Bill, those two? It's like oil and vinegar. Why would you put two guys that have nothing in common with the system? Yeah, spaghetti against the wall.
And that's exactly what they're doing now in 2022 with the defense and on the offense.
So then we're going to move the clock up a little bit more. Then they go and say, okay, maybe we should go back to the West Coast system. They get Fangio and promise Fangio, we're going to get Kubiak. They promised Joe Flacco. Oh, no, we're going to get, he's going to be Gary Kubiak. And then that just dissolved.
And then
they're like, oh, shit.
And then they had to go to San Francisco and beg for Rich Scangarello.
Yeah, Rich Scangarello. So basically what I'm getting at, if you add all this up over the years, what kind of player personnel are we talking? Who are we developing besides quarter? Now, this is beside the quarterback talk. Now you're drafting players for this system, drafting players for that system, drafting players for this system over here. Now we're here with Russell Wilson. He's got players that don't even match systems. And they say, okay, Russell, we're going to do something really different. We're going to let you run the offense. This is your offense. And it's like, well, but my offensive line, they're from different systems. I got receivers that really aren't all that. And I got a guy upstairs that with this ambiguous title that probably is going to tell me to throw it 50 times during this season, which doesn't match my strength. What do you have to say to that?
It's the typical bullshit. I mean, again, look, okay, it's the typical throw the spaghetti at the wall, okay? Like we said time and time again, the Broncos got a hit in front of the horse here. They put the cart in front of the horse, right?
Yeah. Well, we're not the only ones that said that. You had major analysts.
You had Seattle fans say it.
Who?
You had Seattle fans saying it. You had Seattle media saying it.
You had top NFL analysts say exactly what we're saying. And they're all shocked. Oh, my God, what are they talking about? Oh, give me a break.
Yeah. This thing is going to again, like you said, you're putting systems here, you're putting systems there. You have an offensive line of players that Natane Moody, Lloyd Cushenberry, Graham Glasgow that fit power run systems that don't fit the West Coast systems. Tom Compton is a third string. Calvin Anderson, really? What's the hype around him? What has he done? I mean, Billy Turner, again with fucking management. Why didn't you sign him in 4 years?
But you had to still pay off Menelik Watson.
Hold on, you didn't have the money, but you turned around and paid all Juwan James all that money when you could have gave it.
They were still paying on Menelik Watson.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Billy Turner and Juwan James, and that's what that guy, Cody Rourke, was saying. They should have gave Billy Turner that contract, but they turned around and gave it to Juwan James, who hasn't done shit. And I think you're saying that I think that interview got out to a whole bunch of players, and they're like, "Whoa, I'm not coming here."
No, that's why you didn't get a lot of what they promised, right? They promised the moon, can't hit the treetops. They promised that all these superstars would come here and we're going to win Super Bowls. Well, nobody believes it. No. The only people that are selling the goods is Dove Valley. Nobody's buying it outside
the bubble.
Where they're, agreed. Oh, agreed. As long as those bubble people can agree with each other, it has to be true. Right? It has to be true.
Absolutely.
Everybody in the bubble. So what we're dealing with now is a mismanagement situation. It's going to manifest itself. They're seeing OTAs, and I thought that was a brilliant deduction on your part. They must see something. To get them to come out and say, "Oh, it's going to be a year. It could be a year." That's out of one side of their mouth, though. Only that way they're covered. Oh, we didn't say anything about Super Bowls. We didn't say anything about deep playoff. Oh, no, it's a year. And you're coming back and saying, "Well, you're still stuck at square one, even a year later." Correct. I agree with that.
Yep.
Absolutely agree with that. Absolutely. Now, where do we go from here? I mean, Jesus.
Well, I mean, again, you talk about, going back to square one. They're doing the same thing with Russell Wilson.
Oh, yes.
We never said we wanted Russell Wilson. We wanted Plan A Aaron Rodgers all along.
That's what gets me. They say, "Hey, what do you call it? It's toxic. You're toxic." This is the definition of the toxic Bronco fan. Is agreed. When agreed goes south, and they find out that it didn't happen the way they all agreed it was going to happen, they got to blame somebody. They got to focus that toxicity, and it's going to be focused on the next quarterback. It's going to be, and probably George Payton too. So I'm expecting George Payton, the toxicity to go, and want George Payton fired, and we never wanted Russell Wilson to begin with. So, yes, I agree that will be, when this thing goes south, it's going to be, we never said all this stuff we said, and same old thing. Again, wash, rinse, repeat, all over again. And that's why me and you are frustrated. That's why.
Of course, I'm frustrated.
We're already like, you sold us this bill of goods. Russell Wilson now has this monumental task to carry this mismanagement on his shoulders. And, we're going to be here defending, just like we did Joe Flacco. We didn't want him.
Bridgewater, Case Keenum.
We ended up defending all these people from that toxicity. We love you today, we hate you tomorrow. So that's the definition of the toxicity.
Yep, pretty
much. There
are
plenty of fans like us that are frustrated, and they're holding out. They're saying, "Well, maybe Russell." No, Russell. Not even he can overcome.
Me and you are the only Bronco fans outside of Colby Sports and Mile High 6 that actually have the balls to come on here and tell the truth. Unlike the 8 other channels out there that say the same old bullshit.
Same exact thing.
I mean, yeah, me and you have been ridiculed, bombarded, called racists, called
death threatened.
Yeah, exactly. Threatened with our lives over this shit. And on top of that, we're still right, bitches.
Yeah, well, and you know what? It's not that we're like they're saying we're the greatest. If these people open their eyes, actually, instead of buying another year of bullshit, really decide to look at some film. Look at, like you said, look at the Twitter feed, the recent. Every time it's Justin Simmons getting beat over and over again. Just open your eyes.
Again, outside of me and you, who does film? So that's all I got to say.
Well, well, they won't look at it. They want to believe. No. Yeah,
all but 2 clips. Yeah, they don't want to. They don't even want to look at film. They don't. Like, I've been doing film review on offensive linemen in the 2023 draft that are better than Garrett Bowles. I mean, they're already better than him.
I want, if I had the time, I would really want to hear my pre-game Raiders, that first game.
I watched it. It's great.
Yeah. I mean, we're the only one making sense. And what was it? What were the 8 channels, the 7 channels all saying about that game? Oh,
we're gonna go in and show the Raiders.
Yeah, we're gonna show them. Oh, don't even worry. Go to the next game.
And then
they get shellacked. They get shellacked by a team without a coach. Who anyway? I just.
I'm scrolling online, looking at the community section for the Denver Broncos, and they're saying, "Well, have the Raiders haven't done shit, and the Raiders haven't done shit. They haven't done anything since the '80s." I'm like, they just went to the playoffs and beat the Broncos twice and destroyed them.
There is so much denial, so much just living in a world that doesn't exist, literally. And when we're saying to them, hey,
well, that's like the world too. It doesn't apply just to the Denver Bronco fans. It applies to the real world too.
Well, it applies to Dove Valley. Dove Valley with that guy, he's got everybody, you know, thinking all kinds of weird stuff that's not.
It's just like with Trump syndrome. It's the same thing. Like,
well, yeah, it affects both sides. It affects both sides.
It's like the same thing with John Elway and the Broncos, just like with freaking Donald Trump in today's world. Oh, it's all Joe Biden's fault. I mean, it's the same old fucking thing.
It's all Trump's fault. It's all Biden's fault. It's all the last guys. But
yeah, it's the same old shit.
So I don't know if this thing really turns out to be a 3-ring circus. I cannot see how John Elway can survive. I just can't. I cannot see how, him lurking around and say, look, you've been 6 years and this thing hasn't gotten better. We need to go a different direction. I can't see him surviving it. George Payton may get lucky if he even survives it.
Yeah, but can I please get Adam Peters? I'd rather have Adam Peters over George Payton.
Like, well, again,
don't get me wrong. There's been moves that I've liked from George Payton. Stephen Weatherly, Quentin Miners, I think that had more to do with Mike Munchak. Baron Browning had more to do with Fangio. There's been DJ Jones is another example, but he can only do so much. But again, I really want Adam Peters. I'm an advocate for Adam Peters. I think he deserves a GM job. He got fucked here in Denver by John Elway. It's just, I want him coming back because he drafted Malik Jackson, Von Miller, Danny Trevathan, Kayvon, those guys that made a difference for Super Bowl 50, guys that he got in the later rounds, that understood scouting, that understood that player personnel directive, that I understand. The guys like Malik Jackson, who he got in the 6th round, and Danny Trevathan, he got in the 7th round.
Yeah, well, it's the Seattle environment. It's the Seattle environment that we were talking about. Stability. We know what we are. We know,
I know what
we need.
I know what I'm getting from this fucking organization. I don't know what I'm getting. The same old bullshit.
Well, I know what I'm getting. I'm getting a bill of goods. Hey, I want to talk about ownership really quick. And I don't want to talk about shopping malls, retractable stadiums, all this bullshit. I don't want to talk about that. This ownership needs to take one thing from Pat Bowlen before they do anything else. They need to check their ego at the door, something Elway refuses to do, and make first and priority is the team. Make this that winning organization. I don't give a fuck about the tractable stadium. I don't give a fuck about the shopping malls. I don't give a fuck about any of that stuff. That's later. That's number one is when this thing goes the direction that it can't go in any other direction. And they realize what's been going on here for the last 6 years. Check the ego at the door. What does this team need to be successful? If that means bringing an Adam Peters in, coming up with one identity and sticking to that identity, and the Pat Bowlen model of checking the ego at the door and making sure that the need of the team is the number one priority and becoming a championship, the goal of the championship team every year. Not it's a Band-Aid. It's going to be this time. It's going to be this time. Don't worry, it's going to be. But building step by step by step by step, taking that first step of unity, of one directionness, of who we are-ness, of stick-to-itedness, and get away from all that spaghetti against the wall. You wait this year. Make sure that everything we do is strictly for the betterment of the team and the organization. The old school, not this corporate crap. It's Walmart. This is not Walmart. Not even close. Go ahead.
I have to see it to believe it.
Sure, absolutely, yeah. We need to see it.
Again, this is why I scout more than I talk about that stuff, because for future reference, those players that I'm talking about, like Matt Henson, guys like Uzuriki, Jordan Davis, Cam Jurgens from Nebraska, all the above, Cam Jurgens and Jordan Davis are going to make differences for their teams. The guy from UConn that I did, Travis Jones.
What about Nick Burrito? What about Nick Burrito? Dulcich. What about Dulcich? Yeah.
See, I want the Denver Broncos, and I want this ownership to take a playbook out of what the Eagles are doing right now, what the Giants are doing right now, and what the Baltimore Ravens and Steelers have done for decades. You need to start entrenching a lot of your talent back into those offensive defensive lines and building this team correctly. Because at the end of the day, those two things right there on a football team and special teams as well is going to be the deciding factor how far you get in this NFL. It's not going to be about the fucking quarterback, okay? Or it's just on Madden 22, you can win with a quarterback and have a shitty offensive line, okay? No, this is real world. This is real life football.
John Elway 22.
Yeah. And, hey, ladies and gentlemen, I actually was playing Madden 22 the other day, and Justin Simmons was getting beat over the top consistently. Oh, you're just using them wrong in the game.
Yeah. Well, at least you got one thing right. They got one thing right. Now I forgot. I was going to say something.
Well, this is why, again, if you want to keep George Payton, that's fine. But if you're going to keep him, Rob Walton and the Penners, if you're going to keep George Payton, you better sit him down, and he better sit you down too. And you guys have a vision for this football team. This doesn't need to be a thing where we go out and overpay for average players like Justin Simmons or Draymond Jones. You need to have a vision on offense, defense, and special teams and this organization. You need to clear out this whole entire scouting department.
Gregory.
Oh God. You need to clear out this whole entire scouting department. You need to clear out everybody. You just need to start fresh. Okay, this is what this team needs. You need to start fresh. None of this typical revolving bullshit.
Hey, we're just one Band-Aid away. Hey, how much guaranteed money did Gregory get?
$28 million guaranteed.
Oh, don't talk about that. Guaranteed doesn't mean guaranteed. You can't even make that.
You don't know much about contracts, so I do.
Yeah. I'll tell you. Guaranteed doesn't mean guaranteed.
Yeah,
hey,
I'll say $1 million and then $6 million.
Oh yeah, I'll flip flop all over the place. Don't pay attention. Yeah, but I'm right. But anyway,
yeah,
we gotta just get away from that noise.
Off, bud.
So let's go back to the Seattle thing. Is Seattle? You talked about the Giants and Philadelphia. What about Seattle? Did they address their offensive line correctly, or did they get the kind of riffraff that the Broncos got, or what did they do with the offensive line?
Got Charles Cross, my second-rated tackle in this year's draft. They got Austin Beeline. Oh yeah, yeah, just like Rashawn Slater.
Yeah.
Okay, you idiots.
Yeah.
Austin Beeline, who I've been wanting for 3 years now. Austin Beeline fits that West Coast owner. They got Abraham Lucas.
Oh, I mean, they have an identity of what they are and what they do? How dare them?
Yeah, that's why Locke's happy to be there.
I mean, they're not going to pull the rug up from me. They're not going to pull the rug from me? They're not going to do that?
No.
Oh, wow. Man, I may like that too.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
You're just a Seahawks fan and a Raider fan.
Chiefs fan, you name it.
Yep, I'm wearing Chiefs gear right now.
Yeah, but I'm all those because I just don't. You don't go cheerlead every bad decision coming from Dove Valley.
A+ every move. A+ every fucking move.
I am wrong. I shouldn't call them the toxic fans. I should call them what they really are, the toxic cheerleaders. We have toxic cheerleaders posing as Bronco fans.
Well, I think they're mental midgets more than toxic cheerleaders. I think.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you can be lied to every season and you're fine with that, yeah, there's something definitely not right.
Someone told you if a guy, somebody told you to drive off a cliff, I believe some of these fans would do it. If John Elway told you guys to go drive off a cliff, you guys would do it.
Well, John Elway via 8 separate channels saying the same thing. Drive off the cliff. Yeah.
Yeah, if John Elway said he wanted to bend you over, you guys would do it.
Agreed. We're all in a bubble of agreement.
It's the same thing. Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing in the world today. If the people say go wear a mask and they continue feeding that shit, you're going to wear a mask. It's just, it's
but the data says,
shit.
But the data says this. This is what the data. Yeah. Don't want to see any facts. Just I'm going to virtue signal. I'm going to virtue signal.
In stats, it's just common sense and logic.
Well, yeah. Like Justin Simmons getting beat over the top. Yeah. It's Russell Wilson's
Draymond
superiority.
Yeah. Draymond Jones. Where are you? You. It's like talking to in a freaking cave.
No, it's where. Yeah, he's the ghost. You know, where is he?
Where are you?
I know all season long we're asking. So what was their response from what their lying eyes? Oh, he's getting double teamed. Then we show him.
And then I destroyed that myth.
Destroyed the myth. Okay. It's not double team. He's holding a gap. He's minding the gap. He's holding the gap. Well, they would have just ran his direction, it would have been a bigger play than what they got the other way.
Okay, Wanu.
No more.
Who are you? I mean, look, again, like the film doesn't lie. And I saw Draymond Jones getting abused, okay, with one hand, mind you, on a goal line play. That's your fucking guy that you want to pay? Man,
well, I showed him. Well, I showed video of Draymond Jones last year. One offensive lineman literally picking up like a little doll and handing him over to his buddy on the offensive line. Yeah, I got to take care of this right here. Here you go. Here's this little doll.
Yes.
Draymond Jones, and I got to go over here and block. I mean, and it was more than one time that happened. And I'm like, what is going on here? And I swear to God, I've never seen anything like that in my life, where an offensive lineman literally just hands a defensive lineman over to his buddy, and so he can turn around and block somebody else. I've never seen anything, but let's overpay that guy. That makes complete John Elway sense.
Yeah.
Complete John Elway sense right there.
They overpay for Draymond Jones. You better believe I'm gonna. Whew.
And obviously Chubb must be somebody else's pick, because the one thing you'll get is Chubb. Oh, Chubb. You know?
These fans are toxic. Mental
these cheerleaders, we have toxic cheerleaders.
No, they're mental midgets.
Oh, but they're cheering. They cheer.
It's the same old fucking shit.
I don't know what they're going to be. I don't know how they're going to handle all that winning.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
I can't wait till that meme comes back to bite those people in the ass.
You'll see. I'll be here.
We got hate subscribers.
Yeah, you got a bunch of subscribers. Oh, I'm getting the same thing over there. Just a bunch of. Tell me how I am.
Oh yeah, like every year.
Mental
fuck. They're right. And where are you? Where are you?
Again, the fans out there that cheerlead all the A+ moves John Elway does. You guys come to our Dove Valley, not the Dove Valley that is currently existed. Our Dove Valley existing. You guys would run out of there, like you guys would be scared shitless
because they wouldn't know what to do with all that winning.
They wouldn't understand what we're talking about. Come on now.
Why did you draft? Why did you draft them? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? Because we know what we're doing. We obviously can see what works out in the real world, and it ain't here in the. I don't think anybody's really outside of the bubble is really buying this anymore.
No.
You know, but I don't want this to become a Russell Wilson thing. He's just a guy put in a bad situation. It's going to manifest itself. You got to start looking about the guy that's talking over George Payton's shoulder. That's where it all starts and ends.
I mean, my cream puff coworker doesn't believe in this, and that let me tell you what, that guy has his issues. But Jesus, he doesn't believe.
Even Cream Puff can see it.
Yeah, even Cream Puff knows this is bullshit. And that's saying nothing.
That's a guy who's pretty much clueless.
Yeah.
Can see through it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you have anything else?
No, not really. Just the typical mental midget gymnastics that we go through each and every year. So.
Yeah. All right. Expect the hate mail to keep flowing, and
yeah, tell us how wrong we are.
Well, the team is 17-0 right now. You do know that it's 17-0.
Oh yeah,
like it was last year.
Yeah, 17-0. 3 Super Bowls minimum. 3 Super Bowls minimum.
Minimum.
5 max.
Yeah. Everything's fifth best with this organ. Fifth best.
Could you imagine? Like, I'm just gonna bring up an example.
Agree. You know, you got 2K agreeing with each other. It can't be wrong.
Yeah, the 3 other teams in our own division must think we're fucking dipshits.
They really are like, what? Okay, whatever. We'll see you. We'll see you when we see you. Well, everybody, like you said, like I know people outside on the other team community.
Hey,
this is the game you want because you figure you're going to win it.
Oh, the Broncos are on the schedule? Win.
Yeah, that's how everybody feels.
Just win.
Yeah, okay, crybabies. I understand that makes you upset, but there's a reason for that. And every year you decide to do this, doesn't make it. Daddy didn't wish it into the cornfield. I'm sorry. That's not this channel. We're not wishing all the bad into the cornfield.
Hey guys, if you do go to the cornfield, the children of the corn will be waiting for you.
The crybabies of the cornfield.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I guess that is a wrap. We'll hang up. I want to talk to you about YouTube off air here.
Okay.
So I'm going to get off and I'll give you another call. Okay.
All right,
is that it? Is this done?
Huh?
Is this done? We don't have anything else, right?
No, I'm good.
Okay. I'll see you in just a minute.
All right.